Hi, I'm Kimberly Payton, Global Vice President of the Partnerships and Ecosystems here at Finacle. Very excited to be joined by my colleague Simon Ward from IBM. We're going to be reviewing our strategy, goals together, how we foresee the future, and what we're excited about that's in market today. Thank you, and nice to see you, Simon.
Yeah, nice, great to be here, Kimberly.
Glad that we're here.
Okay.
Simon, curious, what priorities are you seeing banks invest in these days?
So I think if you go back, from what IBM's been seeing, if you go back, say, the last 10 years, banks have been focusing, sort of generic answer, banks have been focusing most of the investment on the front end systems. So most banks have got beautiful, mobile apps, and they've really focused less of the investment on the core. Yeah. But we're now seeing that to respond to all the the industry dynamics or the customer demand for sort of beautiful experiences, you've got to be able to digitize all the way through the stack. And so we're seeing actually the investment shifting from less front end down into the core. And I think if you talk to any bank now, they are in some form of transformation around their core, whether it's enterprise wide or it's in a particular domain like lending or doing.
Yeah, from our perspective, there's interest a lot, especially in various regions, on payments or loan origination or wealth management. And so I think we've seen a lot of those as new things coming through. But again, to your point, if they are not digitizing the full stack and refreshing their core, then the whole solution might not be as viable for them overall.
Absolutely. I thought it's very telling at the session for one of the banks yesterday, saying that they make investment decisions on new products.
Right.
It has to be digital only.
Right.
Digital to the core.
Yes.
And really, a lot of the bank's current platforms wouldn't be able to deliver that.
Yeah, that's
so I think this is why you have to have this shift.
Yeah, and that's where Finacle comes in. We're full digital stack. IBM has the consulting capabilities to go and do the implementation in support of us. So I think together we can really make a good digital transformation for these banks. If they go down to the core.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So Simon, I'm curious, how do you feel that the Finacle offerings make you guys different, bring a new value proposition to the customers, and what else can we do to help you out in the market?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Kimberly. I think IBM's done a major pivot in how it sort of supports clients. So we've set our stall out to be a hybrid cloud AI company, and that's very deliberate because we see that every client's on a journey to cloud of some description, and we believe the destination will be hybrid. Yes. And similarly, the banks of the future have got to be digitized end to end. Artificial intelligence is going to play a key part of that, and so we've really focused on building capability around those two dimensions. However, there's then the industry context. And so for banking, we fundamentally believe that it's all about ecosystem partners, and those partners like Finacle who have come out with cloud-enabled software that supports that vision. So I think that's how we see. So I think from a unique partnership point of view, we bring that part. And I think it's the fact that we've elected to invest very, very heavily in companies like Finacle and getting those deep domain skills to complement the cloud and the artificial intelligence capability.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, and Finacle being a cloud agnostic and even a cloud strong and able to go in any cloud and having an as a service offering coming through. We also see that there's a lot of opportunity that we can work very closely with the IBM team on that. Another unique piece that I see about us is our relationship. We work closely together. We're starting to get even further engagements in region by region. And I think that just looking holistically at our partnership and what we're trying to make traction on has been a really good thing. So I'm very excited for us. So can't wait to see what we have in the next year or two.
No, great. Having spent quite a bit of time now on partnerships and ecosystems, I've done that all my career really. You need to work at it.
Yes.
And I think it's often down, I think with what IBM and Finacle have got is fantastic because it's sponsored at the top and that sets the tone.
Yes.
But it's then all the way through established relationships
Absolutely.
as we go the way through. and there'll be bumps in the road, and we can manage that.
Yep.
But I think that it's the power of that relationship and continue to invest in it. It's really important.
It's like a work marriage, right?
It is absolutely like a work
Absolutely.
marriage.
Yes. Okay. So Simon, I'm eager to hear from your perspective, what do you think that we had so successful in, the fiscal year 22? Curious to see what you're thinking on what's been going really well and what we need to do this next year.
Yeah, no, perfect. As I was saying actually at the conclave session yesterday, IBM's always done work around Finacle in the past. But since we decided to really take the partnership to a different level and we signed this global agreement, we've, in the past, 18 months, built scaled capability with your support. To the point now where, one of our joint clients in Europe is on the verge of going live. I mean, we're all waiting, watching our mobiles, watching
Yes.
and that will be a major achievement on their sort of multi-year transformation journey.
Absolutely.
Secondly, we're seeing major banks around the world who are existing Finacle users turning to us collectively.
Absolutely.
And us for the scale capability around Finacle, to help them with their programs, and we've had some success there as well. So it really feels like we're surfing the wave and we're starting to
really get it direction.
Get going on it.
I agree.
Now, how does it feel from your perspective?
I think, being that I'm still fairly new on the Finacle side, but coming in and understanding some of the very large deals like you were mentioning that we're closing in on, and that's huge because it's not only with the Finacle, a very large product suite of ours, but then also with the consulting side from you and even some of the technology and hardware side. That has been monumental. But this year, even moving forward, I'm seeing that we are aligned globally. We're starting to get very aligned regionally, and we're starting to look at how we can do go-to-market activities together to really grow our presence in market, leveraging other ecosystem partners like you're saying that can easily round out our full solution that banks can take advantage of. So I think we're on the right trajectory, and the continued engagement and the continued relationship building, I think is only going to make our strengths better together. Yeah. So from your perspective, how do you see our relationship growing the next 2 to 3 years? My opinion is I think that we're really starting to expand regionally, growing not only in the North American region, the European region, but building into the Middle East and Africa, expanding into South Asia, Sienna, all collectively together, right? And so it's really rare, in my opinion, and in my history, that I've been able to see regional growth amongst the globe on a lot of partnerships. And so that's an exciting point from my perspective. Curious on yours.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we jointly agreed to start with the EMEA, geo, but I've been surprised how much demand there is from APAC. Yeah. Japan's an interesting story. It's quite a different market with its own characteristics. And it'd be interesting to see about the US and Canada and LATAM. Yes. Yeah, so they tend to be a little bit further behind in their adoption, but I can sort of see in 23 some breakthroughs in that area. I think the other area that's kind of almost like a top-down geographic comment. There's the other theme as well, which I'm looking forward to working with a client, which is around your large installed base, especially around on our power technology.
Yes.
And all those clients, by and large, are looking for some form of journey to cloud to take advantage of all this new capability to lower their TCO, etc. And for us to work together with our technology colleagues and with Finacle to come up with some form of package offering that gives them a stepping stone to cloud. Absolutely. I think it's quite exciting.
Absolutely, yes. Like you said, a very large base on the power platform, all wanting to refresh, modernize, move their business forward, whether they elect to go into a new power platform or, as you said, shifting into the cloud. The IBM consulting team is going to be there behind it, helping the entire transformation take forward.
That's right.
I think that's going to be huge for both of our companies. Yeah. And even with any of the mainframe or Linux 1 transformations, right, that too will also be a whole nother step that we're going to see over the next 2-3 years, and more banks taking that.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting that our kind of motto really is to meet the client where they are. And the beauty of the capability we've now got in consulting is if a client wants to do something on Azure or AWS,
Yes.
we have that capability in
Yes.
consulting to support them. A bit like Finacle's tagline, which is you offer on-premise,
Right.
private cloud, just sort of some form of
Public
public cloud,
cloud, yes.
multi-tenant cloud. So you can do the whole spectrum. We similarly are lined up to support
Each and
that,
every one of those
that.
areas.
So it's a
Yeah.
beautiful, as you say, marriage of the two capabilities.
Well, Simon, I'm glad we spent this time together. Thank you very much. I, again, look forward to our partnership and growing it as we've been talking through regionally, globally, within transactions, helping banks move better together.
Thank you very much. No, it's my first conclave. I look forward to the next one.
I do
think we've
as
got
well.
a lot to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kimberly.